what the definition of excellence. And Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary defines excellence as being extremely good. And in our last class, we make us to know that excellent is not just a buzzword. It is not a myth that is not attainable or achievable. Excellent in all spheres of life is the focal point of this mentorship class. And I said, I recently listened to the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, in building the largest single refinery in the world. And the takeaway from that interview is that business is war. And to win the battle, we must be equipped with strategy for excellence. And the question to ask is, what are these strategies for business excellence? Number one, define your market. Define your customer. In one of his books, Akin Alabi, How to Sell to Nigerian, said, do not create a product and find a market. Rather, find a market and create a product to satisfy that market. One of the biggest mistakes an entrepreneur can make is to believe that he or she can be everything to every person. When we attempt to cast our market net that wide, we have failed to define our customer. And like I always say, every business person is a salesperson. And before you sell, you must really understand who you really want to sell to. And to know who to sell to, you must ask questions. And what are those questions that you must ask? The number one thing is, what is the product? What sort of service or product am I offering? And who is likely to want this product and why? So, and on this, it's just good. You may have good idea, yes. One of the best way to test such an idea is to look at your orbit. I always call it sphere of influence. $1 million business weekend, Noah Hagi said, define a sphere of influence as your zone of influence. As a fashion designer, when you wear clothes and you go out, the people really admire what you really put on? Are people asking you, are you a tailor? Can you introduce me to your tailor? Oh, and you tell them that, oh, I'm a tailor, my business location is here and here, this is my card, and we can connect to do that. That will make you to know that what you are putting on is not only of you, but also a great product to others. The number two thing is, what price will make me a profit? I know in doing business, yes, you want to satisfy a demand. But if you are not having profit in the long run, then you are just a non-profit. So you must look at what will make a profit. How does this compare with price of other competitors? And the number three thing is, who else is selling the product, the service that you are putting out? And why will people buy from you rather than from your competitor? What distinguishes me in a positive way? Those are the questions to ask. Do I need to do research? Study demographics. And number four is location. Where am I going to be located? And is this the same place that my potential market is? Is this the best location for my business? And number 5, what method will I use to market myself? Did I need to use LinkedIn? Did I use for professionals LinkedIn? For business Facebook, Instagram? We can look at those things, and again we can also look at what method are we using. Should we use ads? Those are some of the things that can help us in shaping us up to provide excellent service delivery. Understanding your product and target market will make sure that you win the right customer and develop a clear place in the market for what you are selling. Understanding your customers is the focal point of business excellence. Then number 2, serve your customer with quality. Leo Bonnet said, "Don't tell me how good you make it. Tell me how good it make me when I use it." Like I said earlier, people don't want to know why you are putting out a product, why you are trying to render a service. The big question is this: does that product have the capacity to satisfy them? Do they see it from the point that using your service, buying your product, solve their customer? So the purpose of business can only be fulfilled through creation of products, in such cases, service that are offered to customer in order to satisfy them. That is, meet their need. Customer don't buy purpose, people, or processes. They buy products and services. So ensure that your product and your services in the marketplace exude excellence. Your product needs to have the capacity to threaten the status quo. Your product must always challenge the old ways. Despite all the untold millions of products and services for sales in today's marketplace, customers will exchange their hard-earned money for only 2 things. And what are those 2 things? Good feelings. Don't sell me clothes. Sell me the idea that when I put on the clothes that you are putting in the marketplace, that it make me to be attractive. And the number 2 thing is, it must be solutions to problem. Constantly innovate. Steve Jobs said, and I quote, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." A veritable cornucopia of possibility exists in the marketplace. For a business that always look out for a better ways of getting things done, it is dealing with complexity in terms of technology, looking at Apple, mastering it, simplifying it, so that you can sell to customer in a beautiful form. And I think this just sum up the Apple secret. So to innovate is to constantly look out for cutting-edge solution that help solve customer problem. The Nokia story. I was shocked when I heard of taking over of Nokia, that it has been acquired by Microsoft. But let me just quickly read the story. During the press conference to announce Nokia being acquired by Microsoft, Nokia CEO ended his speech saying, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." Is that true? To me, the statement from the Nokia CEO is not true, because despite the changing mobile landscape, Nokia remained attached to its legacy system and resisted adopting new technologies. It is Symbian operating system. Once a market leader suddenly became outdated compared to the fluid and end-user friendly of iOS and Android. You can just imagine if Nokia lost out in that deal. I was expecting that it should just be the other way around, that we just hear a news flash that Nokia has taken over Microsoft. But because Nokia refused to innovate, because Nokia refused to look for cutting edge, they lose out. Innovation is the practice of creating and implementing new ideas for your business, either goods or services. It can be in terms of new products. Take for instance Apple. We can see from iPod to MacBook to iPhone, different iPhone now, maybe the latest iPhone 15. Every now and then they keep asking themselves questions: where are we with this product? Where are we with this? What next can we bring to the table? How best can we satisfy our customer? The best entrepreneur are the most dissatisfied. And I think Mr. James make reference to this, that where people are clapping for you, they are celebrating you, you are saying, guy, we can do more. Did you know why? The best entrepreneur are the most dissatisfied. Did you know why? They are always thinking of how things can be better. To be in business for the foreseeable future is to continuously innovate our way there. And number 4, be a lifetime learner. As someone on this call that want to continuously exude excellence in the marketplace, in terms of business and in career, we must be a lifetime learner. Descartes. Charles Jones said, you will be the same person in 5 years, except for the people you meet and the books you read. To exude excellence in business is to become a leader, and to become that leader that is worthy of industry reference is to be a learner. Did you know that the most successful CEO are reported to read an average of 60 books and attend more than 6 conferences per year? It's like a muscle that develop when used. And one of the way of putting our mind to use is through reading. Below are key to lifelong learning. And I think Mr. James has always emphasized, he always read every now and then for as many of us that are on the WhatsApp group. And I think tonight for many of us that are on this call, I will advise that after this class, we should just reach out to Mr. James so that the quotes, the books he read, the videos he shared every now and then is also part of our learning. And he don't hide anything from us. He always make us to know that I read. With my tight schedule, I always read. So read every day. Read every day. Reading an hour each day will translate into one book per week. One book per week will translate into 50 books per year. 50 books per year will translate into 500 books over the next 10 years. You can just see that. Listen to audio programs. The average person sits behind the wheels in his or her car 500 to 1,000 hours per year. This is equivalent to 3 to 6 months of working time you spend in your car, which is like 1 to 2 full-time semester at a university. So the call tonight, the call for this mentorship class is turn your car to a university on wheels. Number 3, take course and attend seminar. Make concerted effort to take course and attend seminar that can help you become better as an entrepreneur. The combination of reading books, listening to audio programs, and attending seminar will help you maximize several hours that others waste and reposition you for excellence in business as an entrepreneur. Remember, continuous learning is the minimum requirement to excel in business and career. In conclusion, resolve today to become delivery as your standard performance and never compromise. Never compromise it for the rest of your career as an entrepreneur. Let me leave you with this quote by Vincent Lombardi. Your success in life will be determined more by the depth of your commitment to excellence than by any other factor, no matter what your choosing field is. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Bode. If it's okay, you can stop sharing and I can continue. I can share my screen from my end here. And I do know that many of us would have questions already for Bode, but I would want to complete the remaining aspect of this section. Then we can take questions. I believe you can see my screen now. So please kindly just keep your question. I'm going to encourage everyone to continue to put together their questions while we continue on this. But I would just like for us to get some critical input from what Bode have shared. And while I look into the next aspect, he talked about products, he talked about price, he talked about competitor, location, and promotion. And for product, please think about it if you're in a career. Your product is your job. Your product is what value, what do you have in that organization that you bring on board? And the price that you are paid is the salary. But for you to be paid the price, what is the product that you are offering? Now, also understand that in every organization, in every environment you find yourself, there are competitors. Please have it in the back of your mind that there are more than 1,000 people better than you that can take up your job. So if you have this mindset, that will continue to put you on that perspective to remain focused in excellence, because you would always have a competitor in your career. Also understand that promotion does not come. Promoting yourself in your career, it is something that has to come as a result of the value that you bring in. And you have to market yourself. You don't hide in silos. You don't just say, oh, I just want to keep doing my job, and that is it all. No, you have to make yourself known. There are many people in an organization, people barely know them. And we are not saying you need to loud yourself, but you, to some extent, your job needs to speak for you. And the location you are, if you are excellent, it doesn't matter where you are. With time, people will find you, and you would always have an opportunity to move around. We will wrap up of this by looking at Service Excellence by Rolf Kaufman. And I purposely picked this so that it can help us to move into the next section. What is service excellence? Service is taking action to create a value for someone at a particular time. Again, service is taking an action to create value for someone at a particular time. Then what is service excellence? Service excellence, in answering this question, please understand that it is not your opinion. It is the opinion others have on you as an excellent service provider. So to define service excellence, it is not what James thinks about himself. It is not what Bode thinks about himself. It's not what anybody on this platform thinks about him or herself. It is what people think about your service that determines their opinion about you. So in your environment, in your business, in your career, in your job, what are people saying about you? That defines your service excellence. What is service culture? Service culture is where everyone in the organization or in the business, they set a discipline of culture and an intention to create value in their daily jobs towards achieving excellent service. So when you become an excellent person, your excellence must begin to replicate. You must begin to develop a culture within your team. You must begin to develop a culture within your environment. People must see you. You must begin to influence others that through a mindset of discipline towards creating value in that work environment. Now, there are 6 levels of services, and I will, as defined by Rolf Kaufman. Now, and I would like us to go through them so that you can understand that either in your career, either in business, you need to ask yourself this question: which aspect, where do you fall? Now, Rob, I don't have the time to talk about Rolf Kaufman, but you can read more about him. He is a service guru, he believes in service excellence in businesses and industries. According to Rob Kaufman, he defines 6 levels of service excellence. And number 1, he called it the criminal level. What does it mean by the criminal level? If you are terrible and you don't meet expectations of customer, you are below the basic level of service provision, because you are interested in making profit and you violate expectations of your clients and customers. And according to Rolf Kaufman, you are criminal. Now, if this has no offense about how you feel, the fact remains that there are many businesses that are in this category. They are all after profit and they never care about meeting the expectations of their customer. There are many employees in organizations. They are just after salary. They don't give a damn. Whatever is happening in that organization, if it let fire be coming down, they don't care. Why? Because they are in this level that is a criminal level. And the criminal level is that they violate the principles, they violate the objectives, they violate the fundamentals that is desired from their organization or from their customer, and they are after making profit. The second level is basic level. Normal service provision to your client and customer. There is no value addition. It is not enjoyable, and the service provided is late and incomplete. In career, this kind of people, I define them as those people that tells you, I am only doing what is in my job description. I don't do more, I don't do less. Don't come and stress me. My job description did not say I should do this, so please don't add this to my task. Those kind of people, they are in a basic level. And one of the challenges you find with those kind of people is that they are doing the service, they are not doing it with an enjoyable spirit. They are not happy because they are just after the money. They even do it late. They submit their report late. They don't care how people feel. They don't care how their customers feel. When a client comes into the office, they scream at them. They are so unpolite. They are so disrespectful. These are the kind of people. They are just within their job description. And in the last class, but they have defined this kind of people also. So what level do you find yourself? Are you at a criminal level? Are you at a basic level? And the third level, it talks about expected level of service. At this level of service, it says you meet specifications, you fulfill agreements of your clients and customers in line with the specification given. At this expected level, you are a great person. Wow, people like you because when they give you a task, you do it. You are always meeting up to the task. You don't delay your report. Your boss says, I've given you this task. By Monday, 8 a.m., I should have it on my desk. You do it. But those kind of people, they only follow instruction. They don't go a step further to add any value. They just go within everything. They tell you, oh, sir, you told me to do this. And exactly what you have said is what I have done. A customer asks them, this is how I want you to design my clothes, or this is how I want you to bake my cake, or this is how I want you to provide me these IT supplies. This is how I want you to make this product or service. They do it the exact way. No adding of value. So they are within the expected level of service. Number 4 is the desired service level. The desired service level is a service level you provide a service to people the way they like it, the way they hope for, the way they prefer the service. There is a touch of value. There is a touch of excellence in your service delivery. Now, let me be honest with us. No matter any kind of service anyone asks from you, the person does not even know how to explain that service completely to you. The person doesn't. But there is something the person hopes for that the person is unable to tell you. You have to get to that level to understand their mindset. And that is where the mindset aspect comes in. So that you would be able to understand the person and provide them the service the way they expect it to be. So when you are at that desired level, it's far above expectation. It is what they hope for. It is what they kind of think in their mind that they cannot express. And the final, and the number 5 is the surprising service level. The surprising service level is that you go beyond expectation and desire. The person is like, wow, are you saying you do this? Even when I asked you to do this, wow, you've gone above this. How did you do it? What came into you? How were you able to develop this work beyond my imagination? Now, somebody gives you a basic Excel report to do, and you have advanced it into a format that looks presentable, and your boss is like, wow, you mean you do this? That is a surprising level. They are amazed. Let's be honest with ourselves. Have you done any service to your boss, to your organization, to the level that people are shocked, to the level that people are amazed? That is another level of service. The 6th one is the unbelievable level of service. The unbelievable level of service is when you get people to be astonished based on the level of service you provide. You continue to wow your colleagues. You continue to wow your bosses. You continue to wow your customers. You continue to wow your subordinates. You continue to wow the market industry. And this is where Apple and Amazon currently operate. Every point in time, people are amazed at the kind of technologies and ideas these organizations are bringing on board. It is an unbelievable service level. A service level that surpasses your boss, your organization expectation. It surpasses your client expectation. So Rob Kaufman have categorized these 6 levels of service. The question is, where does excellence fall within the 6th level of service? We have talked about 6 levels of service. Where does excellence fall? Excellence in service is like an elevator. When you do something surprising and unbelievable to customers for the first time, you do something unbelievable to your organization for the first time, a repetition of that service is no longer surprising. For the first time, we said, oh, prepare something, and you amazed everybody. You don't need beyond the imagination. So at that first time, you are at a surprise level. But when you repeat it again, it's no longer a surprise. So excellence is like an elevator that continues to go down. When you repeat a service that is at the level of surprising, if you repeat it again, it's no longer a surprise. It has moved to expectation. When iPhone was first manufactured, it was astonished to everyone. It was at the level 6, but later iPhone became a desire. iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 10. People don't even know after it again. They don't care. People now, if you're advertising iPhone 5, nobody is ready to buy it. For some years ago, iPhone 5 was the astonishing value, but today, iPhone 5 is nowhere. Now, the one that is trending, I think, is iPhone 15. So you see what we are saying, that at every level, a product can get below an elevator level. It means what you say is excellent at a time might not be excellent or might not be astonishing and surprising when you repeat the same thing at the same time. Therefore, the only way to be excellence is taking the next step up. The only way for you to be excellent within the 6 levels that I have shared to you, whether in your career, whether in your business, what is the next level? You take it up. The next step up. Therefore, excellence is taking the next step up to create more value for someone else. Can you imagine the first Toyota car that was produced? Can you imagine the Toyota car that was produced in 2020, 2010? Can you imagine the Toyota car that was produced in 2015? Imagine if Toyota has stopped at 2015 Toyota Corolla model. Nobody will buy it again. That's why you see businesses, manufacturing agencies, and service agencies, they continue to add another value. They continue to add another step up. So you see Corolla 2020 model, you see Corolla 2022 model, you see SUV 2021 model, you see 2022 model. Why? Next step up. Adding a step up in their service, adding a step up in their value. Are you adding step up to your life? Are you adding a step up to your career? You have been employed in that organization over the last 5 years. What is the next step up that you have added over the last 5 years? The organization has been fair to you. Your salary has not remained the same since 5 years you joined. The only certificate you brought to that organization the last 5 years was your university certificate. They have been fair by giving you additional salary. What value have you added to your life that is contributing back to the organization? In increasing your academic knowledge, in increasing your professional knowledge to becoming a value at every point in time. Therefore, excellence is a moving target, and you have to continue to step up to create more value. This is where continuous improvement of our lives in career and business is critical. Improvement comes through innovation. Improvement comes through creativity. And improvement comes through changing the status quo. Don't tell me this is how we have been doing it. You are there so that you can change the status quo. And that is the value for excellence. If you do not add value to your business and in what you do, you start going down from the elevator. My next point. According to Rob Kaufman, there are 4 categories of values for excellent service. The first category of value, so you will have 6 levels of services, but in these 6 levels of services, what are the categories of services that you provide for excellence? Number 1, a product. The product is very critical. The quality of a product can determine its value and the excellence that comes with the product. The best product might not be available at the time it is required due to location and distance challenge. For example, you may be a Mercedes-Benz car seller. The production of Mercedes, you are not the one producing it, but Mercedes is a product. And we all know among the class of vehicle, as a product, Mercedes is on its brand and its class on its own. Please stop telling yourself that, oh, Mercedes is too expensive. You are not, it is not for you. That is why it's expensive. Go and check the class of the wealthy men. Go and check the class of the wealthy people. Among their brands and numbers of cars, Mercedes has remained a brand that people have. Why? Because it is a product that comes with excellence. The second categories of value for excellence is delivery system. The delivery system has to do with the delivery of and time efficient to meet your customer's need. The speed and the convenience may lead to another level of service excellence. An example is your accounting and HR systems, your data management systems like Salesforce. How do you use these systems to get the best value from them? Now, let me say something quickly in terms of these categories of services so that we can understand. You may not be the product of the service. For instance, the person selling the Mercedes-Benz in Maputo, or the person selling the Mercedes-Benz in Accra, in Ghana, or the person selling the Mercedes-Benz in any location you find yourself, might not be the owner of the company called Mercedes, but he is a network of a value of chain that buys from the company. And this is where delivery system is. So you have a warehouse of Mercedes in Maputo. What makes you a different vendor against another vendor is your delivery system. How efficient are you in delivering your services on time to your customer within the location you find yourself? You are not the owner of NetSuite system. You are not the owner of QuickBooks system. You didn't create QuickBooks. You didn't create Salesforce. You didn't create any of the financial systems or HR. Any system that you are using in your organization, you never created it. You don't even know the rules that are created, but your organization has purchased those systems. How are you using the system towards bringing in efficiency in your work and adding value as a result of the system? Are you the one that you are always running away from a system and not willing to build your value system, to build an idea that will make you become efficient in the utilization of the system to meet the needs of your customer? And as I said, for an HR person, your number one customer is the employees. How are you using your policies and your HR system towards meeting the needs of the organization and the employees by minimizing costs and by ensuring that people have a culture in an working environment that add value and they are comfortable to work in that organization because your system is working? The next thoughts category of service is a service mindset. Now, you may not have the product, you may not even have a delivery system, but a service mindset. What does that mean? This is where someone that delivers the service creates additional value of attitudes, friendliness, happiness, relationship building. This is like when you give a tip to someone for their good service. And I put here James to share an example of a two rental taxi drivers that provided me service recently in Maputo. Now, there is these two taxi drivers that I have that my organization use. And I will not want to call names, but I will just use an example of both of them. One is, I will say, is a great person. When you tell him, I need you to come and pick me by 7 a.m., I can tell you by 7:59, he would be there. In fact, and by 6:59, he would even call you 5 minutes to the time and say, I am already on my way. He's on point. He gets here early. But he's so serious. When you enter the car, no discussion. He picks you, you enter the car, he starts driving, no talking, nothing. He drops you, thank you, bye-bye, he leaves. Now, there was a word that was introduced to me recently. And the first day I met this guy, he came early. He picked me in his car and he started asking me, how are you, Mr. James? I hope you're enjoying Maputo. How are you finding Maputo? Can you now begin to learn Portuguese? How are you doing? Is your family already enjoying Maputo? You know, I never asked him. I never knew him. And we got conversing all through when we get to the office. The second day, he came to pick me. And he was already talking. We got talking on every aspect. And when I dropped him off, when he dropped me off at the office, I kind of looked at him and I said, wow, I like you. And I said, would you, if there is an opportunity for a job in my organization, would you be interested? And he said, yes. Now, what made me to say that to him? He picked me only 2 times. The other taxi drivers have picked me, I can't count. I have never asked him, would you want to work in my organization? What was the difference? Service mindset. There are services that you provide. The reason you add value to that is your attitude. This is where many businesses are dying today. Poor service provision. Very poor. Very poor. This is where many staffs are missing it. They are so arrogant. They are so disrespectful. They lack a service mindset. The reason you go to a restaurant and you give somebody a tip, and a tip is mean you give him a cash when they serve you, it's not because he's the one that cooked the food. No. But the way the person relates to you, there is a mindset. So you must understand that you may not be a product. You may not even have the delivery system, but the way the ambience you provide to your clients, the ambience you provide to your colleague, the ambience, the relationship you build with people within the organization as a result of your attitude, as a result of your friendliness, as a result of your relationship, can make you an exceptional person, and you would always be the favorite of your bosses. I will give a quick example also. I think I had it somewhere. The last time when I traveled, I traveled to, and I'm sorry I'm using this. Okay, let me, for out of respect, I will not call the service the airline, but I traveled to Ghana recently, and I used a flight to Tamale, and I felt really surprised that we arrived at the flight, and before we took off, they knew that our luggages will not be coming, and they never informed us. First, the flight was delayed by over hours. We were at the airport, people were almost beating the staffs. We arrived very late, and our luggage didn't arrive. And you know, the surprising thing was that I was reacting at the airport and I was saying, "What?" And I was surprised that when I was reacting, people were looking at me. And the surprising thing was that even legislators were in that flight. Top executives in banks were in that flight. Everybody felt normal, even when their luggages did not arrive. What happened? Because an airline has become so autonomous to the level that their services have become so poor and unprofessional to the level that communication has even become a challenge. This is the reason why businesses continue to close and they cannot remain forever. Many of us, we've had the privilege of traveling in Asia and others. One of the value you see within the Asian business, they value customers. They develop this service mindset, which every one of us here, we need to have that. Number 4 category, ongoing relationship. So ongoing relationship talks about service providers that now do a follow-up of their customers. They build customer database and they want to keep the relationship for continual business. Now, what are the questions I have for you? The question here is, from the 6th level of service and from the 4 categories of values, where do you currently see yourself? Within the 6 levels of services and within the 4 categories of service. Where do you see yourself? Where do I see myself? Let's be honest with ourselves. Do you serve or who do you serve? Do you serve your boss? Do you serve customers? Do you serve towards accomplishment of your organization goals and vision? Or you are just serving yourself? The next question I have for you, the service you currently provide in your organization or business, is it towards generating a revenue or cost reduction? Let me say this. Please understand. Don't tell me you are adding a value in that organization. If you are not a revenue generating staff or you are not a cost reduction staff, the 2 things that makes a profitable organization is increased revenue or reduction in costs. So as an HR staff, as an admin staff, as a finance staff, you are not the one making the sales, but you have a responsibility of efficient utilization of the organizational resources to the level that you reduce costs and you achieve a greater margin for your organization. This is where the mistake is. Your role in an organization, many are wasters. They waste organizational resources. We were having lunch earlier today with Desire and a friend, and he was saying how someone in an organization would be using the product of the organization and say, oh, it's for the organization. Wasters. Many are in that category. Are you a revenue generating staff? Or are you a cost reduction staff? For an HR person, how are you a cost reduction? Number 1, you are a cost reduction staff when you hire the best staff. When HR makes a mistake in hiring a wrong staff, is a challenge to the organization. You have somebody that has been hired that does not bring in value, so he's wasting the resources of the organization. As an account and as a finance staff, you are a revenue reduction person by ensuring the timeliness of report and also reviewing processes to the level that you are engaging the program team to ensure that no expenditure is approved without validating the accuracy and the value and putting in the right systems that does not create any room for corruption or embezzlement of organization fund. For an admin person, how are you working towards ensuring that you are getting the competitive pricing for a procurement staff, for an operation staff? How are you validating your procurement process towards ensuring that vendors are providing value for the organization and they are not just providing anything because it is the organization? You hear people saying, Well, if the organization can pay for it, why are you bothering yourself? But they said this last week. If a laptop that's in the market price, you know that you can't buy the laptop at $1,000, and somebody will give the organization at $1,800, and you said, why are you bothering yourself? The office has the money, they can spend it. No. As a project manager, are you just executing project to burn your budget? Or your project is adding value to the objectives and to the goal of the program? This is a $1 million question that everyone here, no matter your space, whether in business or in service, two things is here for you. You are either adding value and generating revenue, or you are adding value in cost reduction. The next one, are you paid or underpaid by the service you provide? Is your income and service fee in line with your value and service provision to your clients and employers who serve you so that you can do your work much better? Who are those that are serving you? Are they serving you the way they should? Because we must understand the aspect of teamwork. We must understand that you also need others to do your work, and just the same way others also need you to do your work. The next one is, how can we build a culture of service where everyone in the organization, including the cleaners, drivers, and low-level employees, they know the objectives, the visions, the strategies of the organization? I stop here, and we would like to take questions. Thank you all.
Hi, Mr. James. I don't know if I can go.
Yes, please, Desire, you can.
So how does one person deal with the fact that, for example, you might provide excellent service, but then again, you don't get proper... Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, continue, please. We can hear you.
Yes, so you don't get proper recognition or perhaps feedback. Let us give an example of a restaurant. I've seen scenarios where we have a restaurant which is very good. They're giving all their best for marketing. They're giving all the best for the client customer quality. But then again, the number of clients is very reduced. Whilst in the same area, you might find another restaurant with bad service, not so good quality, but with higher level customers. And also this may be applicable for work situation, for instance, where we have somebody who is doing excellent and outperforming, but nevertheless, that feedback, that recognition for their work might not be properly coming in. So how does one handle that type of situation and the frustration that comes from giving excellent service, but not getting that good result or that good feedback?
Okay, thank you. Bode, would you want to take this, or I should? Okay, while Bode is preparing to respond, let me just try to respond on this also. Now, one thing you must understand is that for no matter what kind of business you are into and you are bringing in value, the best marketing that you would ever have is people recommending your business. Is people speaking about you. The reason a restaurant that you use as an example might be doing well and their food might not be the best, might be as a result of their marketing strategies or their branding or their packaging. You see, one of the things you must understand is that no matter how best you have, if you don't package yourself, if you don't package the business, you are calling there are classes and there are categories of clients that will never patronize you. And this is where location is critical. This is where the brand is critical. So it's an all-encompassing aspect. Within a work sector, you might be an excellent person, but how do you package your work? I used to have a situation where one of our colleagues, I was telling him the last time, and which he has really, really improved. I told him, I said, the best way you can always, even if you're doing an excellent work, let the key people that should be seeing your work, let them always see your work. Don't be the one that you do a work and the key people are not seeing it. Nobody is seeing it. No. And we are not saying you should show yourself to the world. But as a result of the excellence that you have provided, with time, people will begin to see your value. And when people don't, it's just a matter of time. Now, please also understand, I mentioned it the first time when I was doing the review of body, that in every business, there are competitors. As long as you maintain your brand, as long as you maintain your excellent service, it is a matter of time. Over time, people will get to know you and people will get to always engage you at every point in time. But would you want to add? And if there is any other person that wants to contribute, that would be great.
Yeah, that is just the you've nailed the I think you've provided the solution. But what I just want to add is this: uh for for people that are providing service, did you put in place feedback mechanism in which possibly if you render service, I think I use some app, and some app will tell you, they will be disturbed, they will be sending you notification that please can you rate this app uh with the from a range of 1 to 5. Why they really need that your review, so that possibly by the time anybody search them out on uh Google app, they can see the review of people, how best they have used the app and how best is serving them. So there may be need for, if you are providing service, to put that mechanism in place where your customer can always give feedback so that you can improve your system. And number two again is innovation. How best did you go about checking why are we not having improved sale? Why are people going to other competitors? Is it that our ad is not bringing in the necessary thing? Have we been running for example, like I said in my presentation, if for instance you are doing business, I expect where you're supposed to be running your ad should be more of Facebook. It should be more of Facebook and Instagram. So if you've been using, if for instance you've been using LinkedIn and you are not really getting the feedback, maybe LinkedIn is majorly for professionals. It's majorly for professionals. So there may be need for you to really shift, if you've been using the wrong platform, to exploit other avenue where you can put a dent. According to Steve Jobs, he said putting a dent in the universe, so that you can always put your product where people, I always put my status a day. In a day at least I have almost 150 people that view my status. And I'm surprised some people will just get to me, somebody refer me, they will just snap share some of my pre-kit for me, and I will say, oh, at what point did this person save it? Marketing that you put in place for your business, is it really working? If it is not working, you can tweak it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know if there are any other questions. And Desire, I want to believe your question has been addressed.
Very well addressed. Thank you so much. And a keynote I take is on the feedback mechanisms, and also on that Facebook and Instagram tools to be used. It's a very, 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 very interesting note. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibbs, for the opportunity given to me to ask my question. My name is Mark.
Yeah, please, you can continue. Thank you.
Okay. Please, I want to find out instances whereby you are having a business, you execute your output out, and people are complaining about your output. Maybe probably it comes to something like materials. Maybe you give your materials out to customers, but they complain that yours is small. But looking at it on the system, the scarcity of the materials is too much in the system. But there are a lot of competitors going on in the market. But your customers, when you give your materials out, they usually complain that it's small. Not knowing that you are also using the scale in which your other competitors are using. you're also using the same skill to measure and to quantify your materials to your customer, but still they complain. Please, in such instances, how do you go by it? And how do you control those feedback that are coming from your customers? And what are some of the possible measures you can use to update yourself and improve upon your business strategy for the upcoming avenues? Thank you.
Yeah, this is a loaded question, but let me try that. But they also will add into that. Now, let me say this that first, you must identify your market. You see, you cannot satisfy, and you must know your product or your service and who is within that environment that you are serving, you're providing the service for. One thing people would always say is this: a product that comes with excellence and of a greater value, it will always have a different that is not within a level that others would anticipate. Now, when you have a situation where your customers are providing this feedback, first, if you've already identified your brand and you already know that are you providing your services to the right customers, then I would recommend that why don't you do a review of the market, ensuring that within your other competitors, for instance, are they using even the quality materials that you are using? Because there are many competitors that I said under the levels of service, they may be falling under criminal service. And what we talk about criminal service is that they are just after the profit. They will never provide a value, because you must first understand what your competitor is doing, so that you can use that as a feedback mechanism to your client. For instance, if your competitor is providing a lower service, that can be the reason why you should never compromise your quality, and you maintain it and you continue to explain to your client. But if your competitors are providing a quality service at a lower cost, then you need to understand that what is making them to provide it. Do they have a larger capital base to the level that they can buy those products at a more cheaper value than where you are buying it, even though the quality is the same? So your ability to understand the market is critical. You see, one of the mistakes many of us make is that we go to business as a result of emotion. We don't even do proper due diligence. We don't do proper interrogation of our market, of the environment. Many don't even know their competitors. Let me tell you the truth, and that's what Bode mentioned. And if you are in any business, including organization, you must understand that there are competitions. Please believe that. And what makes you to stand on the edge is because you are all fighting for the same customer. That's why as Toyota is increasing their brand and value, Honda is not resting. Honda is also increasing their value and their brand. So it's a competition within the market. So you need to understand that. Then your other point on how would you, that's one way is being on this mentorship. The other way is, my brother, you must develop your capacity in that business venture. Every business has an opportunity for growth. So the question you should ask yourself is, who is in that same business that has thrived and you should be learning under? You should, and when I mean learning, you may not need to know them. They may be in another country, but find them. There is nothing anybody is doing today new that cannot be learned. There is nothing that you can't copy, even if it's a different product from yourself, in terms of, and I will encourage us to listen to this by categorizing your service at the 6 levels and the 4 categories. Because even if you're a product person, what will give you an edge is your service delivery, is your service mindset, and your service, your follow-up relationship. Now, the product is the tangible item. The other 3 are not tangible. They are intangibles. And they have to do with you, and they have to do with your employees. So if your employees and you yourself, you don't develop an intangible aspect of developing your service delivery, there will be challenge with you, with your business. If you don't develop a mindset of happiness, feelings, attitude, what makes your clients happy, if you don't do a follow-up customer relationship building to get feedback, there would be a challenge also. I'll stop for Bode also to add his points.
Thank you, sir. The feedback you are getting is the best service you are also getting from your customer. The feedback you are getting from your customer is the best service you are getting. And when you get such a feedback, and that is why in my presentation, I make you to know that the minimum requirement to excel in any field is continuous learning. The way it's just that we don't have that time. I have a signature design, tape rule design. If I show you the first design I made, I think 2016 thereabouts, you will just be laughing. I have made 3 of those designs, and it is always improving on the existing one. So there is need for you to learn from other industry experts, people that are on in your field, and also look at how you can innovate on the existing one that you are presently doing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if we've answered your question. I believe we do. But please let's know then if we have any other question. We are happy to take one more question before we wrap up the section.
Yes, boss. You've answered my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other question? And those are the Facebook platform and the WhatsApp platform. Are you all fine? No question? Okay, let me end with this. I would like to encourage everyone that please continue to identify your value. Now, the honest truth is that people may tell you that your value might be expensive, but as long as it is a value, don't compromise it. That's the fact. As long as it is a value, don't compromise it to reduce your price, because maintain that value. With time, you will identify those that falls within your capacity, and they would always come for you. I want to thank everyone for our time this evening, and I believe it's been a very great and interesting section. As usual, the recorded section would be shared after we've completed the editing of the recording, and that will be shared within the next 24 hours. This is a mentorship platform that we have, and for those that are joining, as I said, we do this once every 2 weeks. So our next meeting would be on Sunday, the 21st of July. And we should be completing, if I'm not mistaken, the third part 3 of this. And I will be taking the part 3 of the service excellence. It's a series. And you all you would have seen that when we talk about service excellence, you will be wondering, why are they doing part 1, part 2, part 3? Because there's so much. It's a series, and I can assure you the third series would also be another interesting aspect of something, that you would all appreciate. At our part 3, we will be looking at the hunger and the appetite for excellence. It's something that I would encourage everyone to go after, to be available to listen to it. And if time permits us, we're going to look at the final part, which is how do you build your strength zone? How do you identify your strength area in your career, in your business, and capitalize on that strength area in always providing excellence? Your strength areas are critical towards service excellence. But if you don't even know it, that's the first challenge. And I leave you with this today. Everything you do starting from now, have this at the back of your mind that, am I adding value? Is my value at expected? Is my value at desired? Or is my value at astonishment? And the only reason that will keep me at a desired value or at an expected service level is I move the next step up. If I don't want to become complacent, if I don't want to become to the level of just normal basic level of service provision in any aspect, these are the things that must continue to ring in your heart, that you need to go the next level step up. And in going to the next level step up, creativity, innovation, and changing the status quo are the watchdog. And for you to be creative, for you to be innovative, you must improve yourself. This is where value adding through reading, this is where adding additional courses and programs are necessary. Even I, as I'm here, I am still a student of learning. I learn every day. I am paying for courses, very expensive, to keep improving myself. So I encourage everyone. We are at a journey in this mentorship class. The next 5 years of building ourselves is going to amaze everyone. Stop thinking about your salary today. Stop thinking about where you are today. Just start thinking about the value that you are adding and the value you will be adding the next 5 years. And continue to be conscious of it, and you will be amazed what becomes of you the next 5 years. If you are going to get to the point where people are ready to pay at any cost to have you, and the only reason why you will get to that point is because of the value you bring. And at that point, you no longer determine your life. Life is determined to the extent of how you want it. You make the choice, and that's where we want to be. And the end goal is that we are living a fulfilled life where you are impacting others. If you have not gone through the 5 years planning, 5-year goals and planning, I will encourage you. Is a course that is a mentorship class that we have gone through here. Everyone should please have that recording. Part 1 of it and part 2 of it. It's explosive. You're going to see the reason why your next 5 years is critical for you. We are all in a journey, and please take it serious. You would have seen the level of effort we are putting on this. This is a free mentorship class. And let me be honest with you all. I am not doing this to build a database. No, I am doing this as a way of giving back. I can't tell you all the hours of resources I am spending, but they would testify to you the hours we spent in bringing out this. We are not just picking materials to share. Rather, we are picking materials and we are adding a value to make a wave of it. My desire to every one of us is that, look, as we are building ourselves, don't take this class for granted. That it is a free class doesn't make it cheap. The need for you to continue to add value to yourself is critical. Why? Because we are going to get to the point where, even though it is cheap, we decide who will join. Why? Because those people would have had proven results that we know that they are in aligning to the journey that we want to have for them. Thank you all for your time. Continue to push. Let's be able to connect again in our next class. And I just want to use this opportunity to thank everyone. And also, Bode Thomas, you've been a great person. I really want to thank you for your time. And we look forward to also bringing you on board on probably other topics. And there are a lot of people here also that I will be partnering with as we continue on this. I wouldn't just want to be the only one speaking. So time to time, you will be seeing other. We have great people on this platform, I can tell you. We have HR experts. We have project managers on this platform. We have business owners on this platform. We have public administrators on this platform. So we have great individuals. So please, everyone brings their skills, and we will continue to engage and bring everyone on board as we continue in our growth journey. Thank you all. and have a great evening. Bye for now.